Tugs are moving into position to pull us off the berth. Tugs are pulling us off the berth now. Off to Taiwan we go, Kaohsiung to be exact. Welcome back to the channel. Most importantly, welcome aboard Lignum Nexus. Delivered in February 2024, she's just over a year old, so she's quite new. So how much do these new ships differ from some of the old ships that I've been on? Some of the ships that I can include would be like Mount Owen, Eastern Cape. They were slightly older. Mount Owen was built in 2008. I think Eastern Cape was like 2012 or something. Pretty much identical ships. I've got videos on my channel as well if you want to check that out too. Let me take you for a tour around, show you around the ship, and we'll see what's different on board a new ship versus some of the older stuff that I've been on. So glad to have you here. Welcome once again, and enjoy the voyage to Taiwan. Starting off, my cabin located on E deck, right up the top of the ship behind the bridge. Same as it was on African Nighthawk, was also behind the bridge, so nice and conveniently located. Right, so what do we got in here? I've got my bed, just a single bed. It's reasonably comfortable. The mattress is a little bit thin, but I had a good sleep last night, so yeah, nothing to complain about. I've got a desk here, little table here, coffee table, little couch, which I'm kind of using for storage. Got the cabinet here, life jacket on top. There's an immersion suit inside as well. Some coat hooks. Mirror, medicine cabinet, sink, throne, toilet, and the shower space, which is a little bit small, but nice shower pressure though. I mean, what would I expect? It's a brand new ship. So yeah, that's my cabin. Let me show you around the bridge on board Lignum Nexus. So being a more modern vessel, everything's a lot more digital, less analog stuff. Just easier in general for the crew to use. Tea and coffee making facilities. Have the GMD SS station, Inmarsat computers, MFHF radio, and printers above that for any weather messages or distress messages that are sent. In the nav locker, 2 life jackets, immersion suits, line throwing apparatus, flares and other safety equipment, and miscellaneous storage. Some computers and 2 satellite phones there on the wall. Navtex receiver up there. Have the chart table or plotting table as some people refer to it as. GPS number 2 and GPS number 1 in front of it. On the back wall, cargo hold water ingress alarm panel, fire alarm panel, firefighting system, barometer, master clock. Yeah, we keep all the flags of the world for any of the ports that the ship may visit. External light controls for the ship. Emergency alarm controls and more light switches down there. Ship telephones. That one there goes straight to the engine room. And that one's just for any other. Here's a list of telephone numbers for all the different cabins. Echo sounder and printer. GPS number 1. And satellite compass. General engine controls, main engine telegraph. The first thing you see that's different from some of the other ships that I've been on, we don't have the old lever system like the other ships have got. Instead it's just push button So a lot more modern. Extension alarm panel for the engine room, prop shaft RPM and main engine start air pressure. You have the helm, the wheel, as you can see, a lot more modern, a lot more digital. I've had a little steer of the ship. It's actually feels quite nice to steer. Yeah, it's very light steering. You got number 2 radar, X-band, main ectus, ectus number 1. Just see where we are along the voyage. So we're about 200 miles north of New Zealand, roughly. Just under 200 miles north of New Zealand. We got the number 1 radar, S-band, and backup ectus number 2. VHF number 1, AIS box, Benoist reset. This is basically a safety feature in case the officer on watch has an accident or something, or falls asleep on duty. If he doesn't push the button in a certain amount of time, the alarm will go through to the captain's cabin, and then someone can come up and check it out, make sure he's okay. Gyroscopic compass above that, clock, engine RPM, rudder angle, speed logger, and anemometer. Have the PA system and VHF number 2. So that is the bridge of Lignum Nexus. Let's go check out the rest of the vessel. This is D deck. We have the 3rd engineer's cabin and 1st engineer's day room. This is a Japanese built ship, so it's actually the 2nd engineer, but on Japanese ships they call it the 1st engineer. So chief engineer's day room, and I'd say to the left of that will be his cabin, but we're not going to go in there, respect his privacy. 2nd engineer's cabin, got a comfort room, common toilet, 2nd officer's cabin, officer's laundry. We have the captain's cabin, meeting room, and his day room there. Also respecting privacy, we're not going to go in there. Chief officer's day room and 3rd officer's cabin. On C deck, it's basically just accommodation for all the ratings. Oiler's cabin, another oiler's cabin, crew spare and another crew spare cabin here. Storeroom, another spare cabin here. They have their shower room. More cabins here as well. That's the seal locker, the bond store. You can buy cigarettes, alcohol, other provisions. This is B deck. Have the crew's recreation room, TV, karaoke machine. Ship's hospital, which is locked. Crew's mess room. This is the saloon or officer's recreation room. A little bit more fancy than the crew's rec room. A bit smaller, TV as well. Ship's office. Officer's mess room. So I still can clean up from lunch yet. This is the pantry and galley. This is A deck. Down here we have the gymnasium, multi-purpose room. Nice weight equipment there, a treadmill and an exercise bike. Dry provision store, which is locked, so we won't have a look in there, unfortunately. And a few storerooms here on the left and one on the right there. Sorry, that's the stairway. We have the crew's laundry room, 3 washing machines and the drying room. Now, we also have the refrigerator and freezers here. Let's take a look at that real quick. And here the fish is stored. Nice and cold in there. The meat room. And the vegetable room. This is the upper deck. Down here we have the fire control room, firefighting system, breathing apparatus, safety gear for fighting fires, which I hope will never happen on board. Storeroom here, escape trunk for the engine room, air conditioning unit room, engine change room, changing room and locker room for the engine room crew, engineers and oilers, wipers. The changing room changing room for the deck crew, locker room, shower room, shower space, and toilet. We have the deck workshop and storeroom. Some tools and other miscellaneous bits and pieces for any work that's getting done out on deck. Alright, so that's the upper deck. Let's head outside and have a look around there. Outside on the bridge, Monkey Island up here. We're not going to go up there because the radars are running and they may pose a radiation hazard, as the sign there says. My cabin's in behind there. Yeah, don't mind the cardboard on the windows. It's a good little hack to make your cabin darker because the curtains on board these ships aren't really that dark. Gyroscopic repeater. We've got here radio broadcast antenna, radio rec antenna. Something to do with the maybe AM, FM or MFHF radio. We'll head around to the starboard side. A tight squeeze through here. Try not to bang my arm on anything. This big antenna here, no, this is the MFHF antenna array. That's right. Basically mirror image of the port side, another gyroscopic compass repeater. Beautiful evening tonight. C deck, not too much to see here. Got D deck up there, also really not much to see. Just, yeah, that's D deck. Access to the accommodation, and through this door here, actually get to the engine room. Close that up. And up here is the funnel. I'm on the starboard side of B deck outside. Got a 25-person davit lifeboat. Below that, A deck, not too much to see down there, just a lifeboat station. Inflatable life raft, which seats 25 people. I'll probably explain before in my other videos how these work. As you launch it into the ocean, a little yellow contraption there detects the water pressure. I think it's 3 or 4 meters or something, and it automatically cuts the rope there, and then it inflates out. That's how the life rafts work. Heading over to the port side with this passageway here. Another 25-person lifeboat on a davit crane, and we have another inflatable life raft there too, and portside lifeboat station. That's how it looks inside the lifeboat. Nothing too fancy. Seating for 25 people. Steering wheel, stop start switches, lights I believe, compass, tachometer up there, and power control. Lastly, upper deck, outside area. We are on the starboard side of the ship. Let's go for a little walk around here. So heaps of deck space on this ship. Plenty of room to stretch your legs, which is nice. Usually a lot of these bulk carriers, there's not too much room to, you know, stretch your legs. So looks like we're doing some painting this morning. Looks nice. So we'll go around this way. Nice big gap between the cargo and the accommodation area. Heading around to the port side now. Climb over here. Heading out to the aft of the ship. Direct access into the engine room through there. The guys are actually drying some fish at the moment. Nice, I actually love that stuff, it's delicious. Lovely day today in the South Pacific. Now we've actually got a makeshift basketball court set up here. The captain's decided to hold a bit of a basketball competition. Anyway, let's make our way down to the engine room now. This is the engine control room. Just like on the bridge, we've got tea and coffee making facilities. Small workstation here with computer. Various engine status monitors, alarm monitors, engine parameters, cooling. Basically manage everything from these screens. Various air pressures, clock, nice cold air conditioning unit on the wall. Behind me is the electrical switchboard. That is the engine control room. Here we are, the powerhouse of Lignum Nexus, the engine room. Let me take you for a little tour around. To my left here are all the various oil tanks, fuel tanks, if you might want to call them that. We have 3 air compressors here and the air tanks. This is the incinerator for burning cardboard and paper. Now coming into the steering gear room. These pipes here, you could call them exhaust pipes, they go right up to the top of the funnel. Nice big workshop on board, got all the tools needed for welding, metalwork, to make any repairs while out at sea. Fully self-sufficient. On the second floor of the engine room, we've got a total of 3 floors here. This is the ballast water management system. Ballast water is just seawater, which gives the ship extra weight when it's empty, and this system uses UV to kill off any microorganisms to prevent marine pollution when the ballast water is discharged in different areas of the world, if that makes sense. Now this here is the fresh water generator desalination plant. Behind the steps there we have 4 oil purifiers. This here uses seawater to cool the lubrication oil. And here is where all the wastewater goes from the toilets, the showers, from the galley. That's neutralized, basically turned into grey water and then discharged. And here we have the 3 diesel generators, giving us our electricity on board. On the bottom floor of the engine room now, there's the emergency escape trunk. There's the propeller shaft. And last but not least, view of the main engine from the bottom of the engine room. So that's what it's like on board Lignum Nexus. I hope you enjoyed that little tour of the ship. Of a brand new cargo ship. As I mentioned earlier, she was built in February 2024, so she's a year and 1 month old. Let me know in the comments down below what you've noticed, what's different compared to some of the older ships that I've travelled on so far. In my observation, shipbuilding has remained relatively the same over the last 15 to 20 years. The only notable differences are obviously everything's new inside. The shower, for example, the pressure's great, the water temperature's lovely. Everything's working as it should. The engine room, plenty of headroom. Really easy for the engine crew to work on everything. It's easy to find everything. There's no awkward little crawl spaces like some of the other ships that I've been on that are quite small in the engine room. The air conditioning, it's 28, 29 degrees outside, very humid, but inside it's a comfortable, I think it's like 19 or 20 degrees. So that's not all though. We're only day 4 or 5 into the voyage. We've still got about 12 days to go, so enjoy the rest of the journey. Good afternoon from Papua New Guinea. That long island over there is Alcester Island. You can't really see it, but behind the clouds is Woodlark Island. What's the temperature today? She's hot. I'd say it's in the 30s, definitely. It says here a dry bulb is 37 and the wet bulb is 30 degrees, so yeah, it's pretty warm. Tropical heat, typical tropical weather. There we have it, across the equator. We're in the Luzon Strait at the moment in the Philippines. That island that you see there is Babuyan Island. A little bit rough out there today, 3 to 4 meter waves, and winds are gusting up to about 30 knots. It's not too bad because we're heavily loaded, so can't really feel the ship moving around too much. I mean, you can feel it moving, but it's quite tame. A lot tamer if we were like on ballast only or something, if the ship was empty. We should be reaching Kaohsiung anchorage tomorrow at around 12:30. We're in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Well, almost. We're on anchorage. We've been here for the last 2 days, unfortunately. Had to wait for a vessel to move off our assigned berth, but in about 30 minutes time we're going to start making our way forward to the pilot station, pick the pilot up and make our way into the berth just over there. It's about 3 miles away. Thanks for coming along on the journey from New Zealand to Taiwan. Hope you enjoyed the video, and also hope you enjoyed the tour of the ship as well. So yeah, that's what it's like on board a brand new cargo ship. Well, almost brand new, a year and 2 months old. Everything's just nice and tidy inside. Everything works the way it should. Great shower pressure, as I mentioned earlier, and also the air conditioning was nice and cold. So even when we were on the equator, it was still like 22 or 23 degrees inside. So yeah, also on the bridge, nice new electronics for the officers to use to make their job a lot easier. Less analog. So if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like, and feel free to comment down below. Let me know where you're watching from, and let me know how you liked the video. And feel free to subscribe as well. Anyway, thank you very much again. Whether it's on the sea or in the skies, we'll see you next time. See you later.